First, we're going to talk a little bit about goals, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll make one. Maybe we'll make a couple. Well, we'll make whatever. We'll figure that out together.
I think we should make one. One solid goal.
While Ashtyn's getting some water.
I need to wet my whistle.
She's knocking out that number 2 important thing, water.
Yeah, the second one.
SMART goals are Phil Phails for you. SMART is an acronym. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely.
Timeline.
Timely.
You got to be timely with your timeline.
Yeah. Specific is like, what am I going to do? What outcome do I want to see specifically? It's not like I want to go walking. It's like I want to be able to walk a mile in 10 minutes. That's a specific. I want to walk a mile in 20 minutes. Yeah.
Now we're getting slow.
Okay, whatever. We got the tortoise and the hare here. I want to walk a mile in 15 minutes. Fine. That's a specific goal, right?
By a month.
Okay, by a month.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting to the whole SMART thing.
Yeah.
Well, then you're getting the timely in there.
Yeah, well, I didn't know we were not.
I was just doing the specific part.
Oh, I thought we were trying to make an example. Not your example, but an example.
It's an example, right?
Yeah.
Do it again. Say it again. We're going to walk 1 mile in 15 minutes. In
4 weeks.
In 4 weeks' time, we want to be able to walk 1 mile in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that a SMART goal? It's specific.
Yeah.
It's measurable because every time we walk a mile, we'll know. We need to keep track of every time.
You could make it more detailed. I'm not trying to make things harder, but I like it. I'm going to walk 3 times a week for 30 minutes in order to walk a mile in 15 minutes in 4 weeks.
Okay.
That would just make it more detailed. That's not better or worse. I'm just saying you can get really.
Yeah.
You could get really.
And with the SMART goal, the specific is like what your goal is, the 1 mile, 15 minutes.
Yes.
The measurable part is like you're doing it 3 times a week.
Your increments.
And your
duration.
Yeah.
Your consistency.
Right.
Yeah.
Your measurable is like
your volume.
Well, I'm working up to the 15 minutes. The first time it's not 15 minutes. The first time it might take you 25 minutes and then 22 minutes. And then maybe you had a bad day and it was 30 minutes, but you're like moving towards your goal.
You wouldn't when you're looking at your time in order to, let's say this is a time goal for a 1 mile.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's walking or running. You're not going to just do a mile each day. So what you're when I said 3 times a week for 30 minutes, you are going to hit longer than a mile. You might get faster on some days than others. You might have a specific speed day. That's how you could get more detailed.
Yeah.
But your whole thing isn't yes, repetitiveness and redundancy or monotony is important in order to obtain your goal, but how you hit your variables is also important to obtain your goal. To make yourself faster, you have to do X, Y, and Z to get there. It's not just keep trying a mile, because if you're full throttle, if you full throttle every single time trying to hit this lower, you're just draining yourself instead of having an easy day and walking less, but being easy for 30 minutes. And then one day being interval, speed walk, recover walk, speed walk, recover walk, speed walk, recover walk, speed walk, recover walk. And then having your long day of 45 minutes, that having that kind of variation is how you would build your progressive overload in order to have your drop, in order to test out to get your goal. Does that make sense?
Yep, I think so. Yes, it does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you're not always doing the exact same thing every time. Sometimes you might go longer
or shorter.
Sometimes you might try to go faster or slower.
So you're looking at intensity and volume and duration.
Intensity, volume, and duration.
Yes.
And when you're walking or running, intensity is the speed.
Yes.
Volume is the distance.
Yes, or time.
And duration is how long you're...
Yeah, or consistency, yeah.
Okay.
So how many times a week.
Okay. Attainable in the SMART goal, S is specific, M is measurable, attainable is
within your means.
it's realistic, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say next week I want to be able to run a 3-minute mile.
Mm-mm.
I don't even think Usain Bolt runs does Usain Bolt run a 3-minute mile?
If he does, I don't know about it.
Huh.
People are crazy now, though. Like,
People running real fast, y'all, but I'm not going to do that.
no, you're not.
Phil's not going to do that, and I'm not going to set that goal because it's not attainable.
Yeah. I mean, what's your fastest mile? Do you know?
Some folks know.
Okay.
Probably 8 minutes.
You went,
something.
No.
What are you trying to out me in front of all these people as a slow poke?
No,
I think it's probably like 8 minutes something, maybe 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
So that's like if you were wanting to gain speed on your runs, you would want to work on your mile time trial, and you would want to test out your mile, and then you would do at least a 6 or 8 week program.
It needs to be attainable, though.
Yes.
It needs to be attainable.
Yeah, but you have to test it out to find out what's attainable.
Oh, you test it to know what's attainable.
You test so you know where you're at. You have to have a baseline. You can't just be like,
so would you run as fast as you can for a mile and then just see what that time is, and that's your baseline?
Yeah. Yeah. And as you progress and get experienced, what your fastest you can do, because a lot of it's mental, will change because your mental threshold will change. So a lot of people think that they just like gave it their all, and they didn't, because their brain kept telling them, no more. And then they're like, yeah, no more.
The brain body connection.
Sometimes you have to be like, are you freaking out, or are you really no more? And then you find out that there's actually a little bit more to tap into. That's how the fast people are fast, is their brain's broken. And they've learned how to not listen to all of those receivers as much.
And then they just say more.
It's a lot of mental. I mean, yes, they have to be physically fit. They have to have that skill, that mastery. But the psychological component of it is massive. I am a terrible test taker. I know from experience. And I usually do really, really crappy at any sort of test. And so as I've gotten older, and as I like to call it getting more dead inside, it's just learning how to maneuver around my brain a little bit more, though. Like, I've learned how to overcome a lot of inconveniences or struggles or fear, because fear is what's going to slow you down too. You're scared because your heart rate is high, or you're breathing heavy. But are you breathing heavy because you're panicked, or are you breathing heavy because you're breathing heavy for the sake of it and you're actually pushing yourself the furthest? Most of the time, it's panic. If you check in with yourself, half the time it's panic. Yeah. And then you're like, oh. And you calm down with your breath, which lowers your heart rate. And then you're doing a faster speed with less effort.
That's the psychological component you're talking about.
Yeah, because you get all like tense. Can you see that in my ski suit?
Yeah. All right. That's attainable. Then R is relevant.
Yeah.
So that means it's like it's important in your life in some way.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason you're doing it.
Yeah. Which could be personal.
It's your reason. Like, why are you doing this goal? You need to want to do it. It has to have.
It could be for a job. I want this goal because I need to hit this time for this job.
Yep.
Law enforcement, military, whatever.
Yep.
Or I need this so that I can hit this at this job.
Yep. It could be for your personal. It could be for just your own fitness goals. It doesn't have to do anything with the job.
Yeah. I mean, and it could be shallow. Like, I just want to beat my sister, you know?
Yeah, my sister's fast, and I want to make sure that I show her.
Yeah.
Who's boss.
Yeah. I am.
I'm boss. So, yeah. But it needs to be relevant in your life. It needs to be important to you, which gives you the fuel. That fuels the goal, right? That's like, that's your inertia. It's like, it's relevant for me. This is a relevant goal for me.
Yeah.
It's not like I want to be able to balance 15 spoons on my head, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's relevant for some people. They like those weird Guinness Book of World Records.
Right, balance and spoons type of thing.
Sometimes it's as simple as I had a stroke and I need to learn how to use my right arm again.
Yeah.
You know, so that I can live my life to the fullest.
That's a relevant goal.
Yeah. I had to do it a lot when I was in my inpatient rehab hospital situation for school.
Folks were like, I need to rebuild my life.
Yeah.
I need to start participating and like functioning.
Yeah.
That's a great goal. That's a great relevance.
Yeah.
T is timely.
Yeah.
Or timeline.
Timeline.
That's like the time when you expect to reach that goal, right?
Starting in. Yeah.
Starting in time. And so we went through SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timeline or timely. And now what kind of goal, how should I set a goal?
I don't know. What do you want to work on?
Well, you know me, I kind of like, this is what we talked about earlier. We go through this because right now in my life, I work out with you on Mondays.
Yeah.
I do pretty much 2 hours of fundamentals or foundational with you, where we kind of work through one movement. And I think we're going to show you guys how that goes down in one of our subsequent episodes.
Yes.
I also do Cameron's class, which is basically strength and conditioning. Like we go through a push, we go through a pull, we go through a press, we go through squats, we do some accessory movements. We also do a ab thing, and then we play a game.
Yes.
I do that on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I do Ryan's class on Tuesday and Thursdays, which is kind of a hit.
Yes.
We're doing a lot more kettlebell swings. We're doing a lot more we're doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah, a wide range of stuff.
A wide range of stuff. And I'm trying to do yoga during the day. Like at 12, I'll do more yoga.
Yes.
And in the morning, I'll do yoga. And trying to get at least one strength workout or HIIT workout a day.
Yes. Yeah. And so with that being said, you're all over the place, right?
I'm all over the place.
Yes. And so when you're all over the place like this, it's harder to attain a SMART goal because you have all these exterior variables that are kind of inhibiting you to an extent. Like yoga is not going to hurt you, but maybe yoga every day isn't going to help you because you're tiring yourself from yoga. If you're doing all these different variations of lifting and not keeping it specified to your goal, that can also cause different results. And so it's not wrong what you're doing, but it's harder for you to obtain a specific goal if you have all these other variables being involved in your life.
How can I hone them like a point towards a goal? Like, because I love yoga for its mindfulness. I love yoga for its it has a lot of values, the community, the sangha, the stretching and breathing. Like I do stretch and breathe and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And that's when you have to figure out what your priorities are, because is your priority to really get stronger, or is your priority to have yoga? And it's not that you can't do yoga, it's how frequently you do yoga. If you're wanting to work on this one specific goal, if your goal is to learn how to do a weighted pull-up, doing yoga 5 days a week isn't going to benefit that. But if you did 1 day a week or 2 days a week of yoga and then focused on your lifting specifically for your pull-ups, whether it be accessory and your regular workouts, whatever, that's going to help you more realistically obtain your goal quicker. I'm not saying you can't. You could probably, hey, I'm doing a pull-up. Hey, now I've got 10 body weight pull-ups. Hey, now I can do a weighted pull-up. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but if it's a priority
thing
to you to get it faster, then you're going to have to back off on the other things that are not up as high on your priority if that is your priority.
How many times, so if we're going to set a goal, how many times a week would I need to
work on the
skill?
At least 3 times a week.
3 times a week. In your estimation, can I keep doing the HIIT classes and all the strength and conditioning while I'm working on this goal on the other days of the week?
I would say that it's probably not going to benefit you a lot if you did 1 a week. That would maybe be okay if you did 1 a week of some sort of high intensity stuff and then 1 day a week of yoga. You could even do on certain days like a 2 a day, but you wouldn't want to have multiple days of HIIT and multiple days of yoga if this is your goal. I'm just trying to make sure that you understand that's
I might be wrong on this. I'm not the professional, you're the professional, but I would think yoga would complement any of this.
Yes and no. It depends on it
Because we
depends
don't
on
do like my yoga is not like workout like strength yoga. It's
but you're
more like
still
you're
exerting
stretching your
energy.
body.
And if you're like you can be hypermobile, and that could be a detriment to you too if you're trying to work on strengthening and obtaining structure around your shoulders or your hips. If you're too open, then that isn't good. There's got to be this like fine line of openness and tightness. I have that problem because I run.
Yeah.
Like I do the thing that doesn't necessarily benefit lifting and strength training, but they also complement each other. It just depends on how you do it. But I get tight because of running, and then I have to work myself out mobility wise to be able to continue to strength train and it not affect my running. And I have to time my running and strength training accordingly throughout my schedule appropriately in order to benefit from everything I do. I can't go run 10 miles or do a speed workout and then immediately go do a strong hard lift like with my coach. I would have to wait at least 3 hours in between, make sure there's a meal, some sort of feeding or refueling, and then recover to do that. So you need like at least a 3 hour window. Some people benefit from running post lifting. I actually like doing speed workouts before I do a hard lift, but that's because of how my body works.
But isn't running the same as yoga?
It's not.
If you
No,
can
those are
run, why can't I do yoga?
You can, but there's also this thing called experience and time that you've been experienced. How long have I been doing this, and how long have
Yeah,
you
you've been
doing
doing this a long time.
You will be able to do more later, but doing a whole bunch every day is not setting you up for success for you to hit your goal as quick, is what I'm saying. It's not that you can't hit it. It's not that you won't hit it ever.
So I'll do 3 times a week, 1 hour every a time, you think? About 1 hour
A
workout?
fair time to say.
3 times a week, 1 hour workout.
Yeah, and you could have like a light, medium, and heavy day for your strength training.
Okay. Light, medium, and heavy.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to, I think we're gonna have to end because I'm aware of your time.
Yeah.
And you got something at 4:45.
Yeah.
And it's 4:33 now.
Ah!
So I'm gonna wrap it up with us.
No, that's good.
Out of respect for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about a little bit of this offline.
Yeah. For sure.
Because I would like to show them and I would like to experience what you're talking about as far as like a routine.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
and it's
that
really important to learn this because a lot of people think more is better, and it's not necessarily true. And it depends on like when, how, timing.
Ashtyn,
all
I'm
that.
just lonely.
I know.
I like being with people, and I'm here editing the videos all the time. And I have this time where I love this time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fun.
I like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
But I only set up this equipment like once a month, and that's only like, you know. And then I got all this sea of time where I'm just editing and releasing stuff. And like, I want to be around people. So I do yoga. I go to these classes to be around community and to meet people, make friends.
Yes.
So
No.
maybe I could just go and slack. Just go and just do very little. Just like, do.
Or you could find new modalities of socializing.
Oh, man.
I know.
I want to be around fitness-focused people, though.
You can be, and you can network, and then that can maybe help promote everything.
We're going to continue talking about this. I
You
think... Yeah.
Your papers.
I need my papers.
Your papers sound like ruffled feathers.
I am ruffled. You're ruffling me.
Sorry.
Before we did this, Ashtyn was like, hey, I'm going to have to say something. Is it okay if I say some things that you
Yes.
might not like?
Yes, I was afraid.
I was like, yes.
Yes, and now he has ruffled feathers.
And now I've ruffled. Yeah, ruffled.
Yeah, yeah, he's all flared out.
But it's okay.